So in the second half of this video, we're going to look at this video where Joe Biden answered whether or not he had a significant cognitive decline during the final year of his presidency. And if I said that he did very, very poorly at answering this, that would be like me saying that, I don't know, falling into the Grand Canyon head first would probably be a pretty bad day for you. Okay. Like this is a catastrophe for him. Joe Biden has to step in. It is embarrassing, dude. It is really, really, really bad. And when we watch that, I want you guys to consider that this is who was running the country prior to the big guy winning. But we're going to start with the story about Leticia James, because you guys may recall Leticia James. She is now being investigated for mortgage fraud, which is ironic or poetic, given the fact that she opened two absolutely stone fraudulent investigations into Donald Trump, got him convicted of 34 felonies on complete horseshit, and then also tried to literally destroy his entire life. We're going to get into all of that, but now she's in the hot seat for the exact same thing that she tried to use against him. So buckle up. So it's one of those things where if you volunteer to be part of the attack on, a former president and a person who is running for office, right? Like if you want to spearhead one of those attacks, like if you're Leticia James, as an example, you're the New York Attorney General, and you are going to say that Donald Trump, he violated the law because he inflated the value, the perceived value of the buildings that he used as collateral for the mortgage loans that he took out against, buildings that he was going to buy. Like if you're going to say that that's a crime, which it's not, okay, it's absolutely not a crime, and you're going to assess a $500 million penalty against him, and then you're going to try to take Trump Tower from him, and then you're going to say that, hey, Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million. If you're going to be the center of that, right? And then if I recall correctly, I think she was in charge of the thing where they also prosecuted him, the 34 felony thing for, because he paid an invoice that his attorney sent him, right? Oh, he's a convicted felon. Wait, Trump's a convicted felon? Yes, he's a convicted felon. What did he do exactly? Well, he paid an invoice. He paid an invoice. Yes, he paid an invoice. How could that possibly be 34 felonies regardless of the circumstances of paying that invoice? They're all, well, in this case, the invoice paid went to his law firm that had paid $100,000 to a porn star in exchange for her signing a non-disclosure agreement that would have revealed that he had had sex with her while married at one point during his presidential campaign. You're all... Okay, I just want to make sure I understand. Law firm pays porn star to not talk about legal thing that he did, which could potentially damage his campaign, and then they invoiced him for that $100,000, and then he paid that $100,000 out of campaign funds. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so why would that information have been important to protect with a non-disclosure agreement? I'm sorry, what? Why does he care whether or not that information goes public? Well, because he's running for president, it could have damaged his campaign. Right. I understand. And so he paid for that out of campaign funds. Yes, that's illegal. What? That is illegal. That's campaign finance violation. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? I mean, maybe it is, maybe it's not. But it certainly seems like common sense to me that if I were him and someone sent an invoice to my campaign and there's like, hey, we paid this girl. The only reason we paid her is so she'll shut up so that you can win president of the United States. And all of the money that goes towards that effort is right here. Obviously, it's totally reasonable to pay it out of there, because why else would you have done this? Why else would that information have had any value whatsoever? Yeah, I know, but that's not legal. Okay, well, let's say it's not legal. How does it turn into 34 felonies? And especially given the fact that it was his attorney that sent him the invoice, okay? Like when you are a person who did not go to law school and you want to figure out if something is legal or not, what do? Hello, paid attorney. Hey, is this legal? Yes. Okay, cool. Okay. So the attorney's the one who said it was legal. He paid the invoice. 34 felonies. 34 felonies. Oh, and by the way, on the other thing that she did, right, the loans that he supposedly had done some huge fraud on because he inflated the value of his buildings and then took the loans out. Hey, so who got hurt by that? What do you mean? Well, where's the victim? Well, what do you mean? He inflated the value of those buildings. Okay, right. But he did that in order to attain these loans. Right, from the bank. Right. So is the bank victimized? Well, yes, at the time. Did he pay back those loans already? Yes, he did. Oh, okay. So you mean he borrowed that money, paid it back in full, and now you're prosecuting him for supposedly inflating the value of the collateral he used in order to borrow the money, which he has already paid back with interest. Yes. Okay. Do you actually understand how any of this works, you fucking idiot? Okay. It's the bank's responsibility to verify whether or not those values are real. Moron. Okay. I know you're a politician. You know, you don't actually have to know about these things. But let me tell you, as someone who does know about these things, let me tell you how that works, okay? You go to the bank. You say, I want to borrow whatever it was for him. Let's say it's $50 million. I want to borrow $50 million. Uh-huh. And I have these buildings over here that are worth $250 million as collateral. All right. Who's responsible to verify whether or not those buildings are actually worth $250 million? The bank that is going to loan the $50 million to see if that collateral is actually valuable enough for them to feel comfortable loaning the $50 million. Okay? It's on the bank to verify that. None of this is a crime. None of it's a crime, and everybody knew it. And you tried to take everything from him with that fraudulent nonsense. And guess what? Hey, guess what? Oh, no. And now you're going to lose everything with another bullshit investigation. And I love it, dude. Okay? The fact that she is going to get everything taken from her now over the same stupid bullshit, I like it, dude. Okay? You started this. Okay, so FBI opens a formal criminal probe into New York Attorney General Leticia James over alleged mortgage fraud. Yeah, hey guys, this is a bullshit investigation, okay? This is going to be a circumstantial kind of like, oops, like, you know, the kind of thing that plenty of people have done. You know, they said that they actually lived in the home that they're doing the mortgage on when it's actually kind of like a rental property. It's not really their primary residence. It's something a lot of people have done. You know, is it criminal? I guess. I don't know, you know. And would this have ever been done? No, of course not. But you did this, okay? And you tried to literally destroy his entire life. You tried to take all of his buildings from him, okay? You were part of a massive conspiracy. And guess what? He won anyway. And I think you probably should have known the second that he won the presidency that this and much worse is coming. Do you really think that you're going to skate? You think there's a world where you just are going to continue on a successful person with whatever? He's going to fucking destroy you, okay? This is just the beginning. You tried to take Trump Tower from him. You tried to take Mar-a-Lago from him. You tried to put him in prison. He's going to destroy your life. And that's exactly what you deserve, Leticia James. So let's get into it. FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office in Albany have launched a criminal investigation into mortgage fraud claims against New York Attorney General Leticia James. Source familiar. Okay, so investigation first reported by the Albany Times-Union follows a request of the Justice Department to investigate James, sent by Federal Housing Finance Director William Pulte to the Justice Department last month. New York Northern District, where Pulte's referral was steered, is led by U.S. Attorney John Sarcone. Oh, this is hilarious. So here you go. Leticia James listed this Virginia house as her principal residence, which was not true. That's a fake declaration. That's a crime. That's an actual crime. Okay? Now, would anybody have looked at this if it wasn't for what you did? Mm-mm. But you lied, okay? You pulled this on yourself. Rep. Elise Stefanik, who reps the district where the investigation was initiated, condemned the FBI and Albany Press. This investigation into Leticia James commended the FBI. I'm sorry. Commended the FBI. The investigation into Leticia James is a vital step towards justice. I will continue to fight to expose New York corruption, protect constitutional rights, and hold those failed Democrat leaders in New York accountable. They say James falsified records to obtain favorable loans on a home she purchased in 1923 in Virginia and Brooklyn brownstone she's owned since 1921. Hey, does that sound familiar? Hey, bitch, does that sound familiar? Falsified records, you know, to get a favorable loan. Does that sound familiar? You know? Oh no, you don't like it when the shoe's on the other foot? You know, felt better when you were the hammer, not the nail? It's like, you're the Attorney General of New York. Oh, you had a real bright future ahead of you. Just as long as Trump doesn't win after what you did. But he did, and you're done. You know, like you're finished. And I'm going to enjoy watching this. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to enjoy this a lot, dude. Okay? I'm not a perfect person, but neither are they. You fight. I mean, listen, dude, you wage war on people and you lose. This is what happens. You lose everything. And that's exactly what's going to happen to her. And I'm going to laugh, dude. I'm going to laugh. They felt totally fine, okay? A former president of the United States. Keep in mind, dude, like Trump, it's not like Trump was just Trump. Trump was the former president of the United States, and they felt fine doing this to him. Okay, they shattered the fabric of all of decorum that has ever existed in the United States. No one ever went after former presidents for criminal stuff. Never. It had never been done before. And she did it, and she did it under completely false pretenses, thinking like, oh, I've got the backing of the, the Soros family and the whatever, the Soros family that put me in my office. They're saying to do it, so it's fine. And it's like, hey, again, you better hope that he wins, dude. Or you better hope he doesn't win, I mean. You better hope Kamala wins. Hey, so I know you've got all the power, but like, who's he running against? They're like, hey, Joe Biden. You're all, hey, do you have this one rigged again? Because if not, you're not going to win, right? You know that, right? You're not going to win. Well, if we put him in prison, then he can't run. Good luck, good luck. Hey, so the world's going great for the people who you were in power until very recently. Did you guys see this yet? Joe Biden made an appearance on The View, and we know how The View stands politically. They're like, literally, you could walk Joe Biden out onto their stage wearing a shirt that says, "The View are a bunch of old chickens that should go put their heads in the stand." Awesome one, Jesse. Where was that going? No idea. Didn't know when I started it. Still don't know. Okay. Anyway, so think of the worst thing that the guy could do walking onto their stage. They would still cluck like chickens about how incredible Joe Biden is. You look amazing. You look spry. So for you to blow it on their stage, if you're Joe Biden this hard, it is going to be difficult. Now, check this out. Look at brutal. Joe Biden gets asked about the reporting that has detailed his devastating cognitive decline. His answer was not good. Jill had to step in. This is brutal, you guys. Okay? This is who was running the country. Okay? This is who was running the country. This is who was the president of the United States. So when people go like, oh, hey, do you think that Joe Biden really signed the pardons that, for Fauci and them? It's like, no. Okay? Of course not. This guy was doing nothing. Let's just see how brain dead he actually was, though. And by the way, go ahead, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, right? Because you're not brain dead. You've got a sharp brain. Sharp brain people go subscribe. Takes 1 second. Anyway, listen to this insanity. Ready?
Yeah. Mr. President, since you left office, there have been a number of books that have come out, deeply sourced from Democratic sources, that claim in your final year there was a dramatic decline in your cognitive abilities. In the final year of your presidency, what is your response to these allegations, or are these sources wrong?
Okay, so from that moment, right, how long did he have to remember the question for? Okay, he started talking now. 1 second? Like 2 seconds? Because when they do these cognitive tests, they're like, okay, remember these 3 words. Apple, chair, princess. What words did we say? And you're like, apple, chair, princess. And they're like, okay, let's try it again. Rice, orange, cash register. You're all, rice, orange, cash register. What are we doing? Let's see how he answers. Hey, there have been some reports that you had a very concerning cognitive decline. Okay, here you go. So let's see how he does.
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that. Number one. Number two, think of what we're left with. We're left with a circumstance where we had an insurrection when I started. Not since the Civil War. We had a circumstance where we were in a position that the pandemic, because of the incompetence of the last outfit, end up over 1 million people dying. And we're also in a situation where we found ourselves unable to deal with a lot of just basic issues, and which I won't go into in the interest of time. And so we went to work, and we got it done. And one of the things that and
Alyssa, one of the things.
There you go. She's all, so listen, I know him better than you. This is not coming back, okay? Like, if you were expecting him to circle around and connect those thoughts to the question that you asked, that wasn't going to happen, okay? If you couldn't read between the lines of that answer, all of those reports are 100% true, and actually worse than you would think. He was pooping his pants in the middle of meetings, okay? Like, this is no good, right? Let's just see how Jill does, though. Honestly, I want to show you that again, though, after this, so you can just watch Jill's mannerisms, because Jill knows. She's like, oh, we're doing this.
I think, is that the people who wrote those books were not in the White House with us. And they didn't see how...
With us? You're the first lady, dude. Like, are you in those meetings where he's making decisions like, hey, should we pardon Fauci? Or like, hey, should we cut off the export of natural gas to Europe in the middle of the Ukraine war? Were you in the room for that? Because it sounds like Joe Biden had no idea that had happened, you know, per very credible reports.
Hard Joe worked every single day. I mean, he'd get up, he'd put in a full day, and then at night I'd be in bed, you know, reading my book, and he was still on the phone reading his briefings.
Yeah. Reading his briefings, he's all cock-a-doodle-doo-doo-doodle-doodle-doo-doo. They're like, his briefings just say like, his briefings are like written like for a first grader. It's like, purple was the one that like the derp. There's like not one bit of actual national interest. It's just all like, here, give the first grader his thing for that he can focus on. It's all here, Mr. President. This is all the really important stuff that we're going to be doing tomorrow. It's all tie your shoes. Then remember that you got to put on your tie before you leave the bedroom.
Working with staff, I mean, it was nonstop. It's the White House, being president is not like a job. It's a lifestyle. It's a life that you live. You live it 24 hours a day.
Being president is not a job, guys. It's a lifestyle. Hey, it's a lifestyle, guys. Hey, listen, jujitsu is not like a martial art. It's a lifestyle. All right. Yeah, I can get behind that. Hey, being president of the United States is not a job. It's a lifestyle. What the fuck are you talking about? It's being president of the United States. You are the commander in chief. You are responsible for literally everything. Okay. That's not a lifestyle. Okay. It's a lifestyle. And the fact that, have you guys ever heard a first lady sitting with a president and they need to explain why you did such a good job when you're sitting right there?
That phone can ring at 11 o'clock at night or 2 in the morning. It's constant. You never leave it. And Joe worked really hard. I think he was a great president. And if you look at things today...
Then why do you need to speak on his behalf about why his mental decline is not real? And while he's just sitting there, he's all, what are we talking about? Jesus. I mean, of course I read my briefings. Y'all, could you tell us about one of them? What? Like a specific briefing? Because the only things we hear you say are, the previous administration did terrible on COVID. Also, Black Lives Matter. And, we had the insurrection, January 6th. Guy tried to overthrow the government. You're all... The question was, did you have a mental decline? He's all, COVID, they blew it, million deaths because of the previous administration. You're all, you were in charge of the COVID response, guy. Let's be honest, okay? Like, let's be honest. The entire media and government apparatus pretended like the shot that you guys did everything to mandate was too scary and no one should take it when the big guy was in office, okay? Then as soon as he was out, it was like, everybody needs to do this. The entire response was on you. Do you really think we're that stupid? Well, I mean, I know a lot of people are. Definitely anyone who watches The View is. But I have a feeling if you ask Trump that direct a question, I think he'll remember what he's talking about. I would just get a guess, since I've seen him do it 100 million times, okay? Like, that was unbelievable. This dude right there, that guy, was president up until, 5 months ago? That was the president of the United States, guys. Hey, we've got a report that India is threatening to fire a nuclear weapon at Pakistan. They're all, let's get Joe Biden in here. Joe, what do you think we should do? He's all, yogurt and granola bar. You're all, what? We're talking about a nuclear exchange between India and Pakistan. He's like, Jill? She's like, I think you're all, Jill? Hey, Joe Biden has to step in on nuclear exchange potential. Nice, dude. Hey, that makes me feel real safe. Don't worry, though. We'll bring in Kamala. Very reliable. Hey, Kamala, what do you think we should do? She's all, so I think what you need to know is that when India and Pakistan became countries. They're right next to each other. Proximity is important. Any country is going to be right next to another country. And if they don't get along, you really got to think, what are the implications going to be globally with these two countries that don't get along? And so we always have to think about the future and what India and Pakistan mean to the broader world and whether or not a nuclear exchange could potentially impact the interests of the United States. And so that's how I would approach it. Hey, thank you for that, Kamala. You should definitely run for president. I feel like you have a really good way of keeping your messages concise, direct to the point. Everybody knows exactly what you said to do. Like, so your directive was to, she's like, banana. Oh, the president and vice president, they agree on something. Finally, the directive on India and Pakistan is banana. Fucking joke, dude. Hey, keep telling me how Trump's a terrible president, guys. He's a terrible president.
If you look at things today, give me Joe Biden anytime.
Oh, yeah? Is that right? Give you Joe Biden anytime? Okay, here. Hey, guys, let's run that back and let's pretend for a second that the question was, Joe Biden, Vladimir Putin wants this in the negotiation over his pullout of Ukraine. All right, so let's just pretend that was the question, and then let's see how he does.
Yeah. Mr. President, since you left office, there have been a number of books that have come out, deeply sourced from Democratic sources, that claim in your final year there was a dramatic decline in your cognitive abilities. In the final year of your presidency, what is your response to these allegations, or are these sources wrong?
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that.
He still remembers the question now?
Number one. Number
It's gone. It's gone. Now it's gone.
two, think of what we were left with. We were left with a circumstance where we had an insurrection when I started. Not since the Civil War.
Look at Jill.
We had a circumstance where...
Look at Jill's face. She's like, oh, shit. She's like, oh, God. He's about to do it again. The question is like, honestly, okay, so speaking of like in jiu-jitsu, one of the things that like a lot of academies like to do is they'll like put, they'll have like a white belt tournament and they have all like the higher belts like get together and like watch them compete and they kind of like laugh at them. It's kind of, I don't know, it's stupid because those white belts would beat the shit out of all the regular people in the world, but they're white belts in the jiu-jitsu hierarchy, and so they're like, yeah, throw a piece of cheese for these two white belt mice to fight over. Honestly, so in my world, in my mind, like the best way to put that towards like my own entertainment would be like, all right, let's get Kamala and then let's get Joe Biden and let's ask them the same question and let's see which of them gives a more definitive answer on a hard question. All right. So let's go Kamala first. And then let's just ask her like, hey, what do you think should be done about obscure country and obscure problem in obscure country that has some kind of impact on global commerce, and then just see how she answers it. And then Joe Biden, and you're like, okay, let's compare. Which of them gave a more definitive like action, like how we are supposed to move forward? It's like, 0-0. Wow. So this one was a little funnier because he wasn't even talking about the thing. She talked around it like a champion, but so yeah, I don't know, guys. Something about that clip is deeply entertaining and terrifying at the same time.